Good afternoon. It's really great to be here, surrounded by so many VUB supporters. And before we engage in this presentation, I would like to ask you, the audience, some questions. So you can simply answer by raising your hand or not. And in any case, don't be shy. So maybe first a warm-up question. Who enjoys being part of the VUB family? Great, you are at the right conference. Okay, then now two questions which are maybe less obvious to answer. So the first one is, who among you ever wondered about how large the universe is? Okay, quite some people. And then a second question. Who among you wondered what the smallest building blocks in this universe are? Okay, it seems you share my curiosity. So this is great, because these are exactly the questions I'm asking myself as a postdoctoral researcher. So this slide shows what we know today. And the largest number on this slide shows the size of the observable universe. It's a 1 with 26 zeros meter. This is large. If I want to take a picture of that, it would basically take me the age of the universe to collect all the light with my camera. So it's large. Then if we look at the completely other side, this is what we know about the smallest particles. It's a 0, then 19 zeros, 1 meter. This is small. So in our daily lives, we usually only care about the part indicated in red. So when we travel distances of typically 1 kilometer. Maybe if we take a plane, we travel distances of 1,000 kilometers. And if we distinguish small things, we are typically looking at things of the order of a millimeter. And even then, probably a lot of people among you need glasses. So this is what we can see with our naked eye. To see all the rest of the spectrum, we basically need instruments. For instance, to look at the universe, at galaxies, stars, we need to build telescopes, a wide variety of telescopes. And on the other hand, to look at smaller structures, we also need special devices. For instance, to look at biological cells, we need microscopes. And we use an electron microscope to study, for instance, the atomic structure of materials. Now, if we want to study really the smallest particles that we know today, this one, then we need special instruments too. We need a very special type of microscope, and it's called a particle accelerator. Next slide, please. And the most powerful particle accelerator in the world we can find at Cern. So Cern is located near Geneva. It's at the border between Switzerland and France. In the background, you can see the mountains. These are the Alps. And Cern collects about 11,000 researchers, including myself, who can perform their research too. And there are several other colleagues at the VUB working there as well. So Cern exists now for over 60 years. And I hope it's obvious that I'm not yet 60 years. So my story, I visited Cern for the first time 15 years ago. And you can see this on the next slide. So this is 15 years ago, where I was age 16, and I had the opportunity to participate in a visit organized by the VUB to Cern. And this is where I became really curious, and where I became also really passionate about particle physics. Next slide. Yeah. So let's zoom in on what Cern really looks like. So here you see a picture of the main site of Cern, and you can see it basically looks like a village. There are many streets, there are many buildings. This is basically the Club Med for physicists. There are 3 hotels, 4 restaurants, and more importantly, there are around 150 meeting rooms. And it is in these meeting rooms that we discuss about both the smallest as well as the largest structures in the universe and how we can study these and how we can describe these. So as I mentioned, the most powerful particle accelerator in the world can be found at Cern. Next slide. And it's located 100 meters underground in a tunnel with a circumference of 27 kilometers. So in this accelerator, there is a vacuum that is basically equivalent to what we have in outer space, like on the moon. And it is also the coldest place in the universe. So to build this machine, we had to invent new technologies. And we did that with a single motivation and a shared passion, namely curiosity. And it is that curiosity that drives us to explore the most fundamental building blocks of nature. So in this accelerator, next slide, we basically accelerate, makes sense, particles to the speed of light, almost the speed of light. And when they have that speed, they go around in this tunnel 12,000 times per second. And then we let them collide. Previous slide. And then we let them collide. And in these collisions, the particles interact with each other at energies like they were shortly after the Big Bang. And I say we let them collide, and we do not let them collide once, we let them collide 1 billion times per second. And at the location where these particles collide, we put gigantic particle detectors. And this is what you see on the next slide. This particle detector basically acts as our camera to take a picture of the collision. And it is huge. It is 15 meters high and also 50 meters broad, and then it's 22 meters long. And this one weighs about 14,000 tons. It has 75 million readout channels. This means that you have to combine the information of all these readout channels to display what happened inside the collision. And this is also my area of expertise. So I develop and optimize physics algorithms that reconstruct what happens inside the collision. So, and it is with these reconstruction algorithms that we were able to, for instance, discover the Higgs particle in 2012. So that discovery was really a key moment in my career, and it was also a major breakthrough in the field. So this is what these collisions look like when you completely reconstruct them, and this is an example of this reconstructed Higgs particle. Next slide. So to end with, my story started 15 years ago as a young visitor in the garden of Cern, and I was really, this is really where my story started. And then, now, today, I am more curious and passionate than ever about this research. And today, next slide, I am standing in front of this huge particle detector, and I'm enthusiastically taking the lead to pursue this worldwide journey of understanding both the smallest as well as the largest structures in the universe. And I am convinced that the VUB, as it was for me, is the motor for young people towards curiosity-driven research. Thank you.